Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen. I'm gonna head back into the Pilgrim Forest, just to talk with people in all the cities that we liberated, get some more plot, and we're also gonna get a special item as well. So, we'll make our way around, make the rounds. We'll get into some random encounters, neutral encounters. You will occasionally meet ghosts in the Pilgrim Forest. I ran away scared when I saw one, but if you can befriend them, they will join you. Alright. A little late to, guess, be telling us about the befriend command, but I guess you can read it. You could have read that in the instruction manual. Yeah, back when this game came out, they still had instruction manuals. You learn about how to play the game and tips about the game. Capella's gone, but there are still evil spirits in the forest. I'll bet there's still somebody somewhere on the continent playing with people's souls. Yeah, I think the instruction manual for this game actually came with, like a little mini strategy guide that covered up to, Deneb's Garden, the 6th, area, which we'll be going to after we do this, talk to all the cities here. Capella's gone, but there are still some evil spirits in the forest. I bet there's still somebody somewhere on the continent playing with people's souls. Maybe it's one of, Rashidi's other apprentices. Capella was just one of 3. Spoiler, we will be running into the other 2. So, I'll also be running into some other evil folks. So, Orpheus is now a high-flying unit. We put a good alignment Griffin. I have a favor to ask of the Liberators. Balterano. Far to the west, in the Dalmun Desert, is a town called Aliabard. I want you to bring me a certain stone from the magician Gizalfrey. Will you just me? Absolutely. Thank you very much. Please take this quicksilver. Give this to Gizalfrey. It will serve to identify you. Thank you for your help. If you, whatchamacallit, if you refuse him, you lose some reputation. And in order to get the best ending, you need to do this little, side quest. So, it happened last night. It was a full moon and not a cloud in the sky. I was walking down the road when all of a sudden it got dark. I looked up and I saw an island floating in the sky. I couldn't believe it. Huh? I can tell you don't believe me. Well, fine. Be that way. Well, we should believe him because there are some floating isles in the sky. 3 of them are optional stages, but if you're going for the best ending, all characters, you're going to have to visit all those floating islands. Thanks to you, all the souls in the Pilgrim Forest are now at rest. But there's still evil spirits in there, though. You of the Liberation Forces are truly on the path of kings. Good luck. That's because we have a high alignment. Also, that Gazalfrey wizard guy, or Baltarano, he would not have given us that thing if we didn't have a high enough reputation, at least 70. Do you know who it was that massacred those in the forest? No, tell us. His name is Baron Apros. He used to be a noble of Zenobia, but ever since King Grand's death, he jumped immediately in with the Empire. I'm sure that he's still alive and walking smugly around the Empire somewhere. Spoiler, he is, and we will encounter him much later. Yes, you just told us. If you can still hear the voices of those still in the forest, you know what you must do next. Well, we will eventually find that guy, and we will bring him to justice. So, Orpheus is on the path of the kings. Have you heard of the Stones of Dragos? No, let us know what they are. I heard they let you become a Dragoneer, and you have control over dragons. I also heard that if you can become a Dragoneer, you can call dragons to you. Let's see what he says if we select yes. Ooh, have you already found one? I'm so jealous. You actually could have found them by now. Sometimes you can get them as random treasure from units that you defeat in battle. There's another way you can get them reliably. In a future map, you can trade items for them. So, Capella's gone, but there are still evil spirits in the forest. Alright, we already were told that earlier. The Stone of Dragos, you use it on a Beastmaster, which is the updated Beastman class. And then they turn into a Dragoneer. And then as a Dragoneer, if you take them into a city, you can recruit dragons directly from the city. So there are many reasons why one may risk his life in battle. For people, for fame, for justice, for ambition, for evil, for freedom. Why are you fighting? You must know the answer to that and what it means to fight. Why do people fight? Why must people fight? Take your time and think hard about it. Well, if you're a rat, you're probably fighting over treats. That's what my rats usually fight over. I'll tell you a funny story about that as soon as we go into the next time we got some time to talk. Capella's gone, but there are still some evil spirits in the forest. Alright, well, a lot of folks are saying the same thing here, so... Well, that's it for this area, so now let's head back to the main map, and then we're going to head into Deneb's Garden. This was opened up after we defeated Lake Janenia. So we could have came here earlier, but... Glass Pumpkin. So... And this is a much smaller map compared to... the last map, obviously, but still can be somewhat tricky, mainly just because of the terrain. So we have a lot of mountain units and flying units, because you can see we have a very hilly terrain here. So now in these light mountains, if you one of the enemies you can meet in there, or the neutral encounter in there, is pumpkin heads. I mentioned them in the last video. If you recruit one of them, you can use that Pumpkin Plus on them to turn them directly into Halloweens. And they come, that would be really good to do because they come here at level 1. So you basically be able to raise the that unit from level 1 in the advanced class. So you'll get higher stats. So they're also good to, if you're trying to manipulate your alignment or charisma, you're trying to drop your charisma or alignment down, since they're easy to, you know, they're really weak enemies, and they can't basically kill you because they only half your hit points. So they're easy to, they're easy to defeat. They have less defense than those dragons, the level 1 dragons in the Sharon Forest. However, they're kind of a rare encounter. It's pretty tough to find them in here. Deneb lives in Valpyrene Castle on the other side of those mountains. Deneb is beautiful beyond belief, but behind that face she's as cold as stone. How's the saying go? Beautiful roses have thorns. Every rose has its thorn. Old song by Poison. Just like every night has its dawn. It's like every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. Every rose has its thorn. And we have another city liberated here. Hopefully we get a good card. No. Jinxed it. Another lousy tower card. Dope. And we're going to keep building our alignment. Deneb seems to have stopped her experiments on humans. But now she goes out destroying crops. What could she be doing? Man. She doesn't sound like a very nice person. Well, we're going to get to the bottom of this. So, now, enemy units are going to kind of be coming up at the mountains. So, we want to position our units in these mountains here. So, and then, of course, as we, if we get pushed back, we have the cities that we're just liberating that we can retreat to. And so, intelligence went up. That'll help with the damage for tarot cards. There have been a lot of strange monsters in the mountains lately. A lot of people say they've seen men with pumpkins instead of heads. Yep, so that's your clue that you can get these pumpkin head enemies. But only, like I said, in the light mountains. So, I believe there's a higher level, let's see, what, I think it's higher level dragons. Let me check my notes here. For the neutral encounters in the darker mountains. Yeah, in the darker mountains it's dragons, and in the forest areas you can get a new type of unit that we haven't seen yet, a fairy. So, Fairies are pretty terrible. They basically have really low defense and really low attack. You want to throw them in the back row, but in the back row they don't really do anything. They do this a thing called Kiss, and it basically adds a modifier to your character's attack stat, the equation that determines how much damage they do. The upgraded fairy also isn't very good. It just doubles the Kiss and the slap attack in the front row. The only reason you want to keep them, maybe you want to have one of them, is because their final class, the Sylph, has a all-hit white magic attack missile. And what's good about that attack, the good thing about the fairies is they have really, really high agility growth. So if you raise one of them from a Sylph from a fairy, you have so many levels of agility growth. Yeah, you notice the tower didn't hurt the cockatrice there in the back, which is the upgraded form of the griffin. But anyway, yeah, the Sylph is really good because it'll probably go first in every single battle it's in. And if you're fighting undead, it uses that missile attack, takes out the undead right away. So, and because it also has a high agility, it means that it'll probably most likely never miss its target. So the cockatrice there, what it does, if it's in the back row, it does, it stones one of your characters. If you have the Temperance card, you can use the Temperance card, and that'll turn your characters back to normal. Cockatrices also mentioned in the last episode. One thing that they can do is their white magic, their attack also functions as white magic. So that can defeat undead enemies by petrifying them. So, now, even though we have a lot of mountain units, because we know we're going to be fighting on the mountain terrains, a lot of the enemy units are also mountains. So we may not have as much of an advantage fighting in the mountains as we normally would, but still, it's better to have a mountain unit fighting a mountain unit, because at least you get some bonus. So let's see, do we have anything good here we can use? Hierophant cow to put everybody to sleep. Be able to heal up our cockatrice there in the front. So let's be able to weaken up, maybe take out this guy in the front row. Woohoo! We'll put it on strong, start working on that cockatrice, just hope we don't wake him up. Every time, yep, oh, we woke him up, so we'll probably get one more attack to hit us with, so, let's see, will he? Nope, guess, oh, nope, he got it, so, he went really late, though, so, but we did weaken him up a little bit, and we put his target on weak, so now next time we keep it on weak, our characters will attack him, so. Alright, what oak? Alright, we got quite a bit, so. Got quite a bit of enemies coming up here, so this is a pretty easy battle. Only one character, the Amazon in the back row, is in a good position, where she'll get 2 attacks. The Knight will have only 1 attack, and same thing with the Amazons in the front. So, also this unit is a plains unit. Amazons are all forest, but the Knight, the leader, is a plains unit. So these guys will not be as effective in the mountain areas. So should be an easy battle for us, but that's good because we've been having a lot of tough battles with those flying units there. Remember, flying units, since they don't have a terrain, well, their terrain is high flight, they don't take any penalties. They can fight over any terrain and be fine. So like last time, most of the enemies are just going to be mainly making a beeline straight up. Like the right triangle hypotenuse from the enemy base to our base. So we just want to have our little defenses around this area. So occasionally you'll see some of our characters will make some of their units will branch off and try to take over some cities, chase some of our characters, and they're really going after that knight there. So their tactics must be on weak. So. And that's a bad unit because they have the Cerebuses, they can target characters in the back row with their flame attack, so we do not have a cleric in this unit, so I'm gonna have to have this unit sneak back to a line to heal up. So, oh, this isn't good. Let's see. Hopefully, this guy's not on weak tactics. Nope, he looks like he's on strong tactics. So, he's either on strong or best. We'll see who the wizard targets next. If he targets the knight in the left, then we know he's on strong. So. Nope, he must be on best, because our werewolf there, the hellhound in the middle, does the most damage because that's 3 attacks, so it's trying to take out our best offensive dealer, so even though with that thing was pretty dicey, we now know that unit has an attack set to best, so we can successfully keep attacking that unit with that knight thing and don't have to worry about that wizard sneaking an attack against our back row knight who's in need of healing. So, take out a few more of these enemy units. Ooh, this would be a tough fight here, because this guy has targeted attacks with the hellhounds in the back. Ooh. And it looks like it is has a weak tactic going on it too. So, because our cleric has the least amount of hit points, so we may have to run from this battle. If one of the hellhounds doesn't miss its next attack, okay, so we should be able to survive. If that hellhound didn't miss its fire attack, then we'd have to run. So let's hope our hellhound hits pretty hard. And ooh, nope, didn't. It'd be nice to take out that one of the hellhounds in the back there. So nope. Well, time to retreat. So at least you didn't have to retreat during battle. Remember, if you retreat during battle, every character in that unit will lose 1 point of charisma, but it's better than losing a character, so. Now, of course, if you're just playing with where you don't mind losing a character, you can always revive them with a revive or the Roshian Temple, but we're trying to go for that no-death playthrough here, so. Like I said, our knight is well protected there in the back, because the wizard is going to be going after the hellhound. So. Look. Alright, once you take care of that dragon, it should get a whole much easier, because remember, we have a bunch of physical attackers, and wizards are weak against physical attacks. That's their worst resistance. So, alright. How's our characters looking? Pretty good, so. Average level of most of the enemies in this thing are basically between 6 and 8. Most of the enemy units will be level 7, but some of the beast units, like those dragons and the cockatrices, will be level 6, and a lot of enemy leaders will be level 8, so. As long as you're roughly in that area, you shouldn't have too much hit to your charisma or alignment if you're trying to build up good characters, so. We've got a good fight going on over here for this town here. So, if you lose a town, that's a drop of 5 points to your reputation, so. Of course, you will get to draw another tarot card again, but it's not worth the drop in reputation, unless you're actually going for like an evil playthrough, or if you're trying to tank your reputation for a certain reason. For instance, later on in the game, we will tank our reputation, mainly because, spoiler, Deneb, the leader of this area, is a special character that we can recruit. And in order to do that, we need a low reputation, so 40 or below. So we're going to want to drop our reputation later on, but there's an easy way to do that in a future stage. It actually has to deal with those stones of Dragos that we were talking about at the beginning of the episode. Later on, we'll meet a merchant who wants a certain item for, and one of the things you can trade it for is a stone of Dragos. But if you keep refusing all his offers, he kicks you out of town, and he you lose 5 points of reputation. So you can just keep going back to that town, refusing his offer, and you can control. If you have a max reputation, you just do that 12 times and you'll get to 40, which is the bare minimum to recruit Deneb. So you don't want to drop your reputation any lower than what you really need to. So sometimes reputation can be tough to build back up. It takes time to build up. So Fool card. Remember, that makes all the non-unit leaders flee. So hopefully we don't defeat this beast man here. But mainly just wanted to have those hellhounds flee so that we can have our cleric heal up. Because remember, the hellhounds are targeting the cleric because she's the weakest. She has the least amount of hit points. And they would have eliminated her. And so now we don't want to defeat that Beastmaster, because if we do, then that thing's going to become a skull and retreat back to the enemy base, get a new leader, refresh the whole unit, and we don't really want that to happen because we're already having enough trouble fighting it as it is right now. We don't want to undo all our hard work that we've done. So looks like we're in full retreat mode here, but I guess that's to potentially be expected. We are fighting most of these units at night, and most of the time the enemy units tend to be lower alignment and fight better during the night. So well, that was an easy battle. Too bad our cloak didn't go earlier. Ooh, we got a staff. That is a really, really good item. It's one of the 2 items necessary to get to the best, arguably one of the best classes in the game. It's either that, the Lich, or the Princess. Depends on who you ask. Oh, that one cleric unit has fairies in it, so we'll get to see what the fairy looks like and what they do. But the Lich, if you have a mage character, which is the upgraded wizard, we saw Capella was a mage. If you use the staff on them, they become a sorcerer. And a sorcerer has 2 hit-all attacks rather than the mage's 1 hit-all attack. And also in the front row, it's the only character that has a targeted magic attack. So the wizard has targeted magic from the back row, the sorcerer has targeted magic from the front row. So it's pretty unique in that sense. But then if you use an undead ring on a sorcerer, they become undead themselves. They become a lich. And a lich has 3 back row attacks, hit-all back row attacks, and then 3 front single targeting attacks that are white magic based. So it's like the cleric's Ankh attack. So it can be used to take out ghosts. And interestingly about liches, they can recruit the upgraded ghost phantoms and the upgraded skeletons wraith anywhere. They don't have to be in a town. They can just pull them out of thin air, basically. So, and I said the other class that may give that a run for its money for its best class in the game is the princess class. And what the princess class does is it liches also have really good resistances to everything except for white magic, so they're pretty good tanks. The princess, pretty bad growths overall, but it has a hit-all white attack in the back row. But what makes the princess so good is that if you have a princess as your unit leader, it adds +1 to every single attack that your characters do. So for instance, you have a lich that normally has 3 hit-all back row attacks. If it's in a unit that's led by a princess, it now has 4 back row hit-all attacks. So it basically, it's like a built-in emperor card, as long as you have the princess leading that unit. So that's really, really nice. So, but speaking of not nice, finally got a chance maybe now to talk about my rats and their what do you fight for a story that way back at the beginning of the episode when we were in the Pilgrim Forest there. So yeah, rats are really funny. They basically have the mentality of like a 3-year-old kid. Of course they're driven by their animal needs like hunger and food and stuff like that. So even though they're properly taken care of and they're never going to want for food or anything like that, if you give them like a treat that they like, you know, sometimes they will, you know, they'll fight over it with their brothers or stuff. So there's a cute video on YouTube if you type in rat slap fight. You'll see like two sister rats like fighting over some like, it looks like grits, or so it's really cute. I had two rats, Arthur and Durf, my two of my boys who just recently passed. They I one time put out a treat bowl of Cocoa Puffs for them, and they both went to grab the same Cocoa Puff, and then they got into like a little skirmish because they both went for the same Cocoa Puff, even though there was an entire bowl of other Cocoa Puffs that they could have each grabbed, but they were like, no, they want this specific Cocoa Puff. So rats, when they fight, they get up on their hind legs and they do a thing called boxing. That's like their play fighting. If they're really aggressive, you have to separate them because they start trying to bite each other. But when they're just like play fighting like that, they're trying to establish dominance. They get up on their hind legs and they basically like push at each other, you know, like kind of in a boxing stance, and the winner will push the loser over and then like climb on top of him and like pin him, like wrestling. So while my two rats, Arthur and Durf, were fighting over the thing, of course they dropped it out of the, whatever one had it in their mouth, dropped it out of their mouth, and I just put it back into the food dish, and so they had a big fight over nothing because, you know, eventually they just both went and got a different Cocoa Puff out of their out of the treat bowl. So always got to see some fairies there for a little bit. Basically what the fairy does is, in the back row they do a kiss command, front row they do a slap, which is a really weak physical attack, but like I said, the kiss, it adds a slight bonus to the attack formula. So the attack formula is kind of complicated. It takes into account the character's strength or intelligence, depending on if it's a magical or physical attack. Then it takes into, there's like, I think the level factors into it, and then there's some alignment and the time of day bonus. So there's stuff on game FAQs that probably go over all that, but it's a little complicated. So, but Kiss really doesn't do all that much. Like I said, the main reason you probably want a fairy in your party is so that you can whatchamacallit, eventually raise that, get that Sylph. So that has that hit all magic attack and has really high agility, basically never misses, and goes first. So they have pretty poor hit point growth, pretty poor growth of everything, bad resistances as well, but like I said, they have really high agility, so oftentimes they don't get hit by stuff. So I'm gonna have one of every unit in my army, so I'll eventually recruit like 2 fairies, and then whatever one turns out best, that's the one I'll keep. So these ninjas are putting up a good fight. They have targeted attacks and good agility, so they tend to miss. Our attacks tend to miss, but looks like we have a unit already there in the back there to cut them off. So it's a good thing we have a bunch of flying units. So for this fight, so flying units and mountain units. That's who you really want for this map. So let's see here. Plunk. Keep on strong because they have targeted attacks. Looks like their AI is set to go after the strongest unit, so yeah, they'll probably keep going after that Griffin now in the front because he has the most hit points. So, but that's probably for the best because he, like I said, has the highest agility, so he might be able to dodge some attacks. So I probably should have went to a week after all the ninjas did their attacks. So let's move this guy to healing here. We'll set up a ping pong between that that high sky unit and our Doll Mage unit that was going to be sitting on the city, healing up. Looks like we got another one of those Dragon Wizard units coming out, so we got the first wave of enemy forces coming in here. There are 15 enemy units, not including the boss, so 16 total, 15 that'll come off the base to attack us. So, like I said, we pretty much got rid of the first wave of those units, so yeah, we got rid of one of these 3 ninjas, so now we can concentrate our firepower on one. We might be able to get rid of another one here. Ooh, very close. Yep, got rid of it, so it's really good because our wizards are low alignment units, so they will deal extra damage to the wizards. And whoop. Oh, I thought Adam was the Doll Mage there. Thought a ping-ponged thing, but oh, here's another. Should be another easy battle. So, especially we took out that Amazon there. We only have 3 attacks to worry about, so only 1 more. Any damage that Amazon will do will be easily healed up by our cleric. So, if the cleric can even hit, if the thing can even hit. So, yeah, they're fighting. Like I said, they're a plains unit because of the knight, and they're fighting with on an unfair terrain because they're on a mountain, and we don't have any penalties for our terrain because hey, we're a sky unit. So, well, they're down to 50%. There's a hidden city a little bit beyond the mountains. We didn't expose it because as long as the city is hidden, enemies won't go to it. Enemies can't reveal hidden cities, so only your characters can. So if we were to reveal that hidden city, we'd just be given a place for the enemy units to retreat to. So by just slowing our advance and not going too far ahead, we're basically forcing them to retreat really far if they need to heal, so, or push forward to try to take over one of our cities. So luckily the AI and a unit that has its leader defeated will always try to retreat back to the enemy base. So even though that unit was closer to taking over the city because it won the battle and pushed our Doll Mage unit off the city, it won't go to the city to take it over and regroup. They can only regroup at the enemy base. So normally you don't want to lose a battle so close to, you know, a city, because you don't want to potentially have it lose that city and get that -5 reputation penalty. But luckily the retreat AI for the leaderless unit kicked in before its desire to, you know, take over our liberated city. So, and that ninja must have really good agility. Even our griffin is missing it. So, yeah, we take it out. Woohoo! All right. So it looks like we're doing pretty good here. We have a pretty good wall set up. So this is what we'll pick up in our next episode. Hopefully we can finish off the rest of Deneb's forces. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.